there, my name is Chetna, and today we'll be making Baingan Ki Sabji, and in English that translates to eggplant vegetable dish. In pretty much every Indian dish, the basic ingredients are onions, tomatoes, garlic, ginger, green chili peppers, and if you'd like to add a little extra flavor, just add a hint of lemon. These are the ingredients we will be using for Baingan Ki Sabji. I've already grated 3 pieces of garlic. I've grated 1/3 of this ginger, and you can use more or less of any of these ingredients depending upon your taste. I've used red onions, about 2 medium-sized, a little bigger than this one. I've used about 4 to 5 small tomatoes. I would have used 1 or 2 big ones, but I actually didn't have those, so depending on your taste and the type of tomatoes you like, you can use those. I've also peeled and chopped 2 regular size potatoes. This green chili is already pre-cut as well. I've used about 4. You can use more or less, like I said, depending upon your taste. And these are eggplants right there. I've already peeled them and chopped them ahead of time. So let's get started. I've already gotten a big enough of a pot so that I can fit all my vegetables, and I've already preheated it as well. Then you want to add about 3 to 4 spoons of oil. Add in some hing. Hing you can find at pretty much every Indian store. Add some jeera. After that browns a little, add garlic and ginger. After that browns as well, add the onions. So let's get started. So now I'm adding about, let's say 3 to 4 spoons of oil. You can add mustard oil if you like, which I really prefer because it tastes a lot better. Alrighty, as you can see, the oil, it's pretty hot. And now you want to add 2 to 3 puffs of hing in there. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, that's sprouting, and that's good. You want to let that happen. Then add about, let's say, 1 spoon of jeera. You also want to let that cook. And let me get this out of the way. Just give it some time, let it sit there, and let it brown. So I turned up the stove to about 8 so that the temperature would go up and it will brown a little faster. So less than a minute has passed, and it seems like good thing I turned it up because now it's browning. But I'm going to turn it down to about 6 because you do not want it to burn. So I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger. And you want to stir it properly so that it doesn't stick to the bottom, because that's very easy for it to happen. Okay, so now that it has browned, I'm going to add the onions in there. So give me a quick sec, let me bring that over. Alrighty, so make sure to stir it instantly because you don't want it to stick to the bottom. And now I'll turn it back up a little. So you really have to watch the temperature on these things, because if it's too high, it will stick to the bottom, and if it's too low, it just won't cook. So you want to be real careful with that and make sure you're watching it the entire time. Here we have our cut green peppers, tomatoes, and our spices. So let's go ahead and add that in there. Alrighty, so I will add about 1.5 tablespoons of salt. And remember, you can always put in, but you can never take out. So actually 1 1/3. And I will add about 1 tablespoon of red chili pepper and about 1/3 of turmeric. Alrighty, let's stir it. And if there's not enough oil in there, what you can do is just add a little bit of water so it doesn't stick. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So let me go ahead and get some water. Alrighty, so you want to make sure not to inhale right when you put in the spices, because trust me, you do not want to start choking on the spot. Alrighty, so I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. Then I'm going to put in the green chili peppers and the tomatoes. So I've already added the tomatoes and the green pepper in there. So I'm going to wait for it to cook for a little bit, then add in the potatoes. But you do not want to put the tomatoes and the onions in together, because the tomatoes will not let the onion cook. It's been about a minute and a half, and if you want to speed up the process, what you can do is cover your pot. The only risk with that is that you won't know if your stuff is burning. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that. However, I will add the potatoes in now, and I'll throw in some water, and then I will cover it. So I'll make so that will make sure that it doesn't stick to the pot. So let me go ahead and get that. So throw in my potatoes, get everything in there. Some water, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's only so that the potatoes don't stick to the pot. Let's see. Is the potato cooked? Nope, it's not cooked yet. But you know what? At least it's well mixed in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add in the eggplant so both the potatoes and eggplants can cook together. Alrighty, I'm just going to go ahead and add all this in. And, alrighty. You want to keep on stirring it so that all the mixture can mix properly and it's consistent throughout. You don't want all the flavor to be just on one side, right? So just mix it well enough so that all the mixture is distributed evenly. And I can see that there's not enough water in there. It's not supposed to be watery, however, it is supposed to have moisture. So I will go ahead and add just a hint of water. And I'll go ahead and add the rest of the eggplant in there. I do want to remind you, I have about 3 eggplants in here, and I have 5 family members who will eat. So if there's only 2 of you or a single person, you may not want to make this much. Alrighty, so you can see it's mixed properly, but it doesn't have that much moisture. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a tad bit of water. You see how throughout cooking I add water in there? I don't put it all at once because we do not want it to be gravy. We want it to be all nice and mushy and thick, because that's what we're making. There are a lot of different ways of making Baingan Ki Sabji, but that's just the way I like it. So it's been about 9 to 10 minutes, and I already took the lid off and I'm stirring it. So at this point, pretty much if it did stick a little, that's completely fine as long as it didn't burn or there's not a thick layer. If there's a thick layer, just change the pot. Just take out the vegetable from the top, don't scrape it, and then you can continue cooking it. However, if it's just a little bit, still just don't scrape it. It should be fine. That way nothing else will stick. And right now it's looking pretty good. It's cooking and it's coming along really well. Let's see here. So what you want to do is now, at this point, get a fork And let me grab that right here. And you want to stick it in the eggplant to see if it's mushy enough. So let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so I see eggplant right here. Okay, wow, see? It's so easy for me to just like press upon that and it just mashes right on the spot. That's what we want it. And this is our potato right here. It still has retained its shape because that's what it usually does do. And look, we're able to mash the potato as well. This is how you know your vegetable or your dish is properly cooked. So let me mix this together and let's see if it's ready to serve or not. And you want to make sure that it's well mixed and there's no chunks left, because just like mashed potatoes, you want all your potatoes to be mashed. So for this Baingan Ki Sabji, you want your baingan, your eggplant, which is, to be well mashed. The potatoes, it doesn't matter whether they have their shape or if they're mixed in. Alright. And like I said, first taste it, see how you like it. If there's a little too much salt or something's missing, just add that in. And if there is a little bit too much of the salt, the perfect trick is just get a hint of lemon, throw some in there, and it'll be delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. See how far it has come along. And you know what? If there's something missing, you can always do something about it. And if you want that sweet and sour flavor to your Baingan Ki Sabji, you can always add chunky chaat masala. And you can get that masala, that's seasoning, from pretty much any Indian store. Just ask them. Okay, so let me go ahead, grab my dishes, and pour this out. Alright, so I've got my bowl and spoon. Just gonna pour it in here. Remember, I haven't added my lemon yet, lemon juice. So, and I've turned down the heat, so make sure it doesn't burn. But I want it to stay hot, and I want to still keep cooking. So, let's try it. Alright, a little nervous, but let's see how it tastes. Ooh, that's hot. This turned out pretty well, actually. But what would make it even better is my magic lemon. Let me cut this up and throw some of lemon juice in there. Perfect. You don't have to do anything fancy, just squeeze it in there. Don't put too much. There's plenty of lemon juice left in there. Just about half would do. You can put lime in there, doesn't matter. The bottle ones actually don't taste that great, so I don't know if you want to do that to your food or not. Alrighty, so I've added the lemon in there, so let's see how it tastes now. Let me tell you, it tastes so much better with the lemon in it. As you all know, eggplant has this distinctive taste to it, and it has this little extra kick. But the lemon, after you put it in, it just makes everything so much better. So I can't wait till you try this at home and surprise everyone at home. So grab yourself a bowl and take a spoon, and there you go.